So will ChatGPT replace the jobs of people that work in IT? The reason I'm asking this question, I'm going to answer it very shortly, simply because I did a video yesterday where I was explaining how I was encouraging my 18-year-old daughter to go get some tech skills. And the reason I was explaining that is, one, she's got no clue what she wants to do as a career. And two, because she's got no clue, I've been in IT all my life. I'm trying to encourage her to go into a job that's going to give her security for the rest of her career. I really want that for her, obviously, because I do believe a lot of the other traditional roles, I'm not going to go into, but a lot of other traditional roles that we use today will be replaced by tools like ChatGPT and AI. But I think IT is safe. The reason I think it's safe is because there's a lot of function that goes beyond code. So, for example, if I wanted to create, if I wanted to ask ChatGPT to create me a PHP script that sent an email to 5 users, it's probably going to do a really good job of that. And it's mind-blowing when you actually do use it. It's good. However, if I said to it, can you go create me a TikTok clone because I want to create a rival TikTok app and I want to scale it out to millions of users, it wouldn't have a clue how to do that, because those apps are distributed across lots of technologies and lots of servers. So TikTok, for instance, he's probably got its database, or it's Chinese, but something like Instagram, probably have his database in Amazon Web Services. You'll have the front end layer will be done in something like React Native or Flutter Flow, and then you'll have this whole mid tier. So the things that the app talks to the database will have a whole raft of code there. That might be done in Microsoft Azure. Your ChatGPT client wouldn't have a clue about that. He just wouldn't know how to do it. He'd probably have to go it right in the whole thing in PHP. So when you actually took delivery of it and 10 users started using it, just blew up in fire because it just didn't scale. So it doesn't really have that intelligence to know you want to create a scalable application that's got to be really secure, highly performant, cheap to run, loved by users. There's loads of requirements you'd have to put into it that I don't think is going to be intelligent enough in the future. And then also there's a load of roles outside of that human beings will need to do. So even if it did create you like the 5,000 little components that need to be installed in Amazon, Microsoft and Google, it's still a human being, us, that's having to do it. So we were having to provision the servers, buy the servers, deploy the code, test the code, think about keeping it secure and performant, talk to the end users that wanted it, take their maintenance releases, so do new versions of it, do maintenance windows. There's so many things that human beings have to do that around that, like testing's another one, that it wouldn't have a clue, wouldn't have a scoobies. And the other reason I think that there's always going to be a job in IT, and it's probably the biggest one, is that I honestly do believe that new tech is going to be done by humans. Because I can't see, even if this thing was ready 10 years ago and it was sat in a room with Elon Musk before he had the idea of Tesla, and he's thinking, I want to do a business, he's not going to just type into it, give me a business idea that's good for climate change, it's going to make me a load of money. He's not going to do that. Well, he might do it. But even if it gave him the idea saying, I think there's a massive niche here for electric cars, it's not going to actually go do it for it. It's not going to, set the business up, hire all the leadership team, hire all the staff, gets funding, get the shareholders, create the specs for it, set the departments up, set the teams up, sort out the regulation. All these things human beings need to do, and I think that new tech is always going to get done, and the innovation will be done by humans because we're the ones that want it. I think the AI is going to be a supplemental aspect of all of the things we do going forward, but the real brain power, the innovation, is going to be done by humans. And then finally, there is actually a trend now, and it's certainly happening in Power Apps and things like Flutter Flow, where no code's taking off. So these are applications where you build the application, it's all drag and drop. And when you drop things and you hook things up using formulas, it's kind of no code, and you don't really need to have 10 years of IT background training to create these applications. And so I think that will actually take over, because you won't need AI to write the code, because the actual applications are writing the code themselves. And I think the reason they're doing that, as I said in my video the other day, is that there's so many applications going to be needed going forward that companies like Microsoft they're being forced to do it, because there is a skill shortage in developers. Developers take a long time. There isn't many of them, and they're expensive. I know because I'm one of them, or I used to be one of them, not nowadays. But they take a long time, and like I say, there isn't many. So there is going to be a need going forward, even more and more, as we start to automate everything in our businesses and start to automate the roles that we know. Human beings are going to have to create the things that replace the human beings, and the way they're going to do that is no code. And I know it's a very, very sad thing to say, because I hate to think of anybody that's in a job that's going to disappear in 10, 15, 20 years. But my advice to you is get yourself into IT, because I do believe it's going to be secure. So to answer the question, no, I don't think something like ChatGPT or AI is going to replace the role of the IT team. If it does, then we'll be the last ones to turn the lights off, because actually once that happens, then it's all over. See you later. Bye-bye.